Welcome, curious minds, to the deep dive.
Mm-hmm.
Today we're embarking on an exploration of a book that promises something pretty bold.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
Real-world wisdom.
Yeah.
You know, the kind of stuff we often feel was, well, missing from our traditional education.
Okay. I think I know where you're going with this.
Exactly. Forget the academic jargon, forget the endless memorization. We're talking raw, pragmatic, just no-nonsense advice for navigating life and business today.
Right. So we're diving into Raj Shamani's book, Build, Don't Talk, Things You Wish You Were Taught in School.
That's the one. The title itself just grabs you, doesn't it?
It really does. It's a statement. It tells you right away this isn't going to be some theoretical treatise. It's practical.
Yeah, direct call to action.
Exactly. Shamani offers this almost street smart guide. It feels less like a textbook, more like a chat with a mentor who's, actually been there, done that.
In the trenches.
Right. He basically argues that our formal schooling, well-intentioned maybe, but it often just doesn't prep us for the real challenges and opportunities out there.
Absolutely. And the thing about Shimony is he really does seem to walk the talk.
Yeah, he's not just talking theory.
Not at all. He's this, well, remarkably young entrepreneur, a really thought-after public speaker, and, a content creator whose stuff has just exploded.
Over 100 million views, right?
Something like that. His insights are just so relatable, so impactful. He's lived the principles he talks about building, doing. It makes the advice feel, more grounded.
And what I found really interesting, kind of disarming actually, is in the preface, he admits he hates reading books.
Right. And yet he wrote one.
Exactly. But it's not really a contradiction, is it? It kind of proves his point.
How so?
Well, his core idea is that success isn't mainly about just soaking up information or setting these huge, maybe overwhelming goals.
Okay.
It's about consistent, small actions. He calls them little accomplishments.
I like that. Little accomplishments.
Yeah. And he even tells readers, just try to finish one chapter a day. Like that small, consistent progress is the win. It sets the whole tone. Build, don't just talk or plan forever.
So our mission today for this deep dive is pretty clear then.
Lay it out for us.
We're going to unpack the big lessons from Build, Don't Talk. We'll explore his sometimes unconventional advice.
Yeah, some of it definitely pushes back on common wisdom.
For sure. And we'll figure out how you, listening right now, can actually apply these real-world skills to your own life, your goals, whatever success means for you. Ready to stop talking and start building?
Let's build something. Let's do it.
All right. Part 1, challenging the status quo. Mindset shifts, unconventional wisdom. Shamani doesn't pull any punches, does he? Chapter 1 kicks off with, our education system sucks.
Yeah, straight out of the gate. It's provocative.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it makes you stop and think, okay, why is it such a strong statement? He's obviously achieved a lot, so what's his beef with the system?
Well, his critique is pretty radical. It's not just saying the system's flawed. He argues it actively suppresses our natural abilities.
Suppresses how?
He says it kills imagination, emotion, curiosity. How?
Yeah.
By focusing relentlessly on rote memorization over actual thinking.
The whole learn this for the test thing.
Exactly. He uses this really stark analogy. Schools turn us into simple printers.
Simple printers. Ouch.
Yeah. We just absorb info, maybe don't even fully get it, and then reproduce it on paper. But that's completely the opposite of how we really learn best.
Which is?
Through experience. Doing things. He mentions the main learning styles, auditory, visual, kinesthetic, but stresses everyone learns best kinesthetically by doing.
Makes sense. You remember things you actually did.
Right. He even says listening to a certain music album inspired him more for public speaking than reading tons of books because it was an experience. Yeah. This lack of doing, he argues, stifles our ability to think for ourselves, ask tough questions, challenge things, the stuff needed for real progress.
That simple printer idea really sticks with you. Makes you wonder how much critical thinking we weren't encouraged to do.
And he takes it further. He imagines his ideal school a replica of reality.
Okay, what does that look like?
Get this. Kids basically run a business all year. During breaks, they're not just playing, they're actually, monetizing something, learning to communicate, negotiate, sell, source stuff, handle real money.
Wow. So, total immersion.
Total immersion. And he contrasts that sharply with typical school projects.
The exhibitions, as he calls them.
Yeah. You spend a month, show it off, get applause, then forget it. But real life, he says it's real-time hardcore selling.
No participation trophies.
None. You either close the deal or you don't. Investors don't care if you just showed up. And he links this to why many big achievers weren't necessarily top students. They got obsessed with one thing and mastered it by doing, not just studying.
Which leads to that kind of uncomfortable truth he drops.
Yeah. Life is not equal. Life is brutal.
It's harsh, but he argues telling kids the world is a fairyland
Mm-hmm.
sets them up for failure.
Disillusionment, basically. When they hit the real world's bumps competition, unfairness, they're not equipped. They keep looking for that fairyland, can't settle, and maybe can't even make things better because they haven't accepted reality.
It's a tough message.
It is. But the key takeaway from this first part seems to be, you have to know how you learn best. Be curious, ask questions, understand the real stakes, no free candy, and yeah, accept life's brutality.
It's not about being cynical, though.
No, I think it's about being prepared, shifting from this entitled, theoretical view to a pragmatic, action-focused one, ready for the world as it is.
Okay, so building on that idea of radical self-awareness, Chapter 2 hits you with another one. You suck, admit it.
Haha. Yeah, definitely counterintuitive in our always be positive culture.
Totally. It makes you look at your own weaknesses, which can be uncomfortable.
But that's the point, right? He argues admitting you suck isn't about beating yourself up. It's actually the crucial first step to growing.
How does that work?
It's about having the guts to try something. See where you genuinely fall short, and then make a smart choice. Either buckle down and improve that weakness, or
what?
Or get help. Delegate it, outsource it. He uses himself as the example of the book, admits he sucks at writing, tried it, confirmed it.
So what did he do? Hire a ghostwriter.
Exactly. His focus was the outcome, getting his ideas to the reader, not the method of him personally writing every word. It shows growth isn't about conquering every single weakness yourself. It's about getting the result, maybe by using someone else's strengths.
That's actually really liberating. It pushes back against those two stupid categories he mentions.
Right. Either not trying because you're too self-critical or sticking with something you're bad at because of ego.
And his advice, it's okay to quit when something isn't working.
Hmm.
That feels almost wrong to say.
I know. We're always told never give up. But how do you know if you're quitting strategically versus just giving up too easily? Does he give a clear test for that?
That's a good question. He doesn't explicitly state a test, but it seems implied.
Yeah, it feels like it comes from strategy, not just emotion. You quit when you've honestly looked at the effort, the resources needed, the likely outcome, and figured your energy is better spent elsewhere, where your strengths are, maybe.
Okay, that makes sense. And that connects directly to Chapter 8.
Right.
Be ready to look stupid.
Absolutely. That fear of judgment, of looking dumb, is what stops so many people from even trying, let alone knowing when to pivot.
He tells that story about forgetting his speech on stage.
Super relatable. But the key isn't the embarrassment, it's what he did after. He committed to that intense 30-day prep, recording himself daily.
To become a public speaker after that. Wow.
Yeah. It shows overcoming that fear isn't about not feeling fear. It's about pushing through it with discipline, with action, and learning from what felt like a failure.
So the big message here is, stop chasing external validation.
Pretty much. Think about it. If inventors worried about looking stupid, we wouldn't have planes, phones, medicines.
Right. He literally says, run from people who say, take it slow, or who do you think you are?
Because they just feed that fear, that complacency.
So, taken together, admitting you suck, being okay looking stupid, it's like a personal SWOT analysis, isn't it?
That's a great way to put it. Admitting weakness is acknowledging weaknesses. Facing the fear of looking stupid tackles a major threat. And doing that frees you up to leverage your strengths and seize opportunities. It's a cycle.
Yeah, an ongoing cycle of assessment, decision, action, not just avoiding hard truths.
Exactly. A critical mindset shift for actually getting anywhere.
Okay, let's shift into part 2, the action-oriented approach. We've all heard, focus on your goals. But Shamani flips it in Chapter 9. Don't focus on your goals. That feels wrong.
It really does go against the grain of typical motivational advice, but his why is super practical.
Which is?
He argues that obsessing over the end goal often makes you mess up. Why? Because it distracts you from the process, the daily stuff that actually gets you there.
Can you give an example?
He uses driving a car. Being a good driver isn't just steering and braking. It's the whole process, rules, parking, consistent good habits. He realized obsessing about his exam scores didn't help. Until he mapped out how to get them. Focused on the daily study habits, not the final number. Those daily habits, he says, are the secret ingredient.
So the goal is kind of out of your control, but the daily actions are.
Precisely. Your habits, your process, that's where your power lies. That's the real lever.
So if you're listening, thinking about your goals, a side hustle, fitness, whatever the shift is, don't just stare at the finish line.
Right. Ask yourself, what tiny consistent step can I take today? It's about building the path, brick by brick, not just dreaming about the destination.
Which kind of leads naturally into another controversial one, Chapter 11. Stop innovating, start copying.
Oh, okay. That definitely challenges the whole Steve Jobs innovation mantra.
Right, but he's not talking about plagiarism, is he?
No, not at all. He calls it inspiration. His point is, nothing's truly new. Everything builds on what came before. The real skill, he suggests, is filtering existing ideas, taking what's good, and adding your own personal touch. That's where the unique value comes from.
He gives examples, right? Like Ola and Uber.
Yeah, Ola from Uber, Flipkart from Amazon. Even Shakespeare, he points out, borrowed plots. And he mentions the Mark Zuckerberg portrayal, taking ideas and adapting them.
So what does it mean for us then? To be a combination of every great person I admire with my own touch.
It suggests our unique style, our voice. It comes from that filtering and personalizing, like how your signature is always yours, but slightly different each time. It evolves from integrating influences, not inventing from a vacuum.
Imperfect copying leading to uniqueness.
Exactly. And he stresses none of us would have learned anything if there was nothing to copy from. It's a practical way to speed things up. Learn from what works, adapt it, add your spin. Don't get paralyzed trying to be 100% original from day one.
Stand on the shoulders of giants, then take your own step.
That's basically it. A faster, more pragmatic path to progress.
Okay, moving from concepts to more concrete strategies, he introduces this juris game, consumer versus producer. Seems simple, but he makes it sound fundamental.
It really is. And it taps into that modern problem, information overload.
How so?
People consume constantly books, videos, courses. They become, as he puts it, knowledge hoarders. They know a lot, but they don't do anything with it.
Okay, so the difference is?
Consumers spend more, producers earn more, producers execute. They put stuff out there, they share their knowledge. They don't just absorb, they apply. That's the only way to actually get better and be recognized. If you're not producing, you're basically invisible.
He also gives some pretty grounded advice for aspiring creators.
Oh yeah, the don't leave your job bit.
Right. Start it as a side hustle first, prove it works, build it up.
Wait until it's actually feasible financially before making the leap. It's realistic, not just romanticizing the entrepreneurial plunge.
Which flows perfectly into his 7 Ways I Make Money in Chapter 32. This part is fascinating.
It's a masterclass, really. The big insight. Get really good at one thing, then find multiple ways to monetize that one skill.
Okay, let's break down his journey. It started with consultancy.
Yeah, consultancy. As a 17-year-old, he taught himself digital marketing, Google, Facebook ads from free courses online.
Resourceful.
Totally. Saw businesses needed it, approached a car dealership, showed them how he could save the money compared to billboards, and landed a 25,000 rupee gig. Just 1 hour a week, learning as he went. Built it from there.
Incredible. So step 1, gain a skill, offer a solution. Then came public speaking.
Step 2, exactly. He started sharing his digital marketing knowledge. First, free speeches at colleges. Mailed hundreds, only got a few yeses, but kept at it.
Gal you first.
Over 100 free talks. Then people started recognizing his value, his knack for simplifying things. That led naturally to paid gigs. Give value, build reputation, then monetize.
Okay, makes sense. Expertise, then sharing it. Which logically led to brand deals.
Third stream, yeah. As his social media following grew, posting clips from talks, creating content brands noticed, he was still talking about his core stuff, but now maybe wearing a branded shirt or mentioning a product, monetizing the influence he'd built.
And as the audience got even bigger, affiliate marketing.
Fourth stream. Once he hit like 1 million followers, if he mentioned a phone or software, he'd drop an affiliate link. Someone buys, he gets some small cut, customer pays the same price, leverages the trust he'd built.
Then, with all that knowledge and demand, courses.
Fifth stream. He packaged his expertise, workshops on public speaking, monetizing insights, started cheap, like 500 rupees. People trusted him, so they paid for his distilled knowledge.
And the book itself, Gold Don't Talk, came next.
Sixth stream. Got a deal with Penguin. Advance, royalties, solidified his knowledge into a long-term asset. Shows how one core skill, communication branding, can be packaged in so many ways.
Finally, his own business, the content agency.
Seventh stream. Saw creators needed help with process, editing, strategy, built an agency around his proven process, leveraged his team, his system to serve others, monetizing his expertise as a service.
Wow, so the huge takeaway isn't mastering 7 different things.
Not at all. It's mastering one core thing, growing personal brands, and then finding multiple connected ways to apply and monetize it. That's powerful.
And connecting that to Chapter 33, creating a personal brand, he says it's not about packaging, but unpackaging. What does that mean?
It's about authenticity. Showing the real you, flaws and all, how you really wake up, eat your struggles. He says, your life is your niche.
So being real scales better than being perfect.
Paradoxically, yes. People connect with genuine experiences, not some polished image. That authenticity builds trust, builds authority. You add value by sharing your process of figuring things out.
He also mentions discipline over creativity.
Yeah, the idea that consistent action, even when you don't feel creative, is what leads to breakthroughs. Just keep putting stuff out, even basic ideas, and the act of doing refines it over time. That's how you build an authentic, lasting brand.
Which all feeds into becoming unbeatable. Chapter 36. How does he define that?
He applies business concepts to content and branding.
Okay, like what?
First, product market fit, PMF. It's ongoing. Keep experimenting until you find what truly resonates. For him, it was those business newsreels. The third one took off, boom, PMF found.
Then you scale it.
Second, scaling and pivoting. Yeah, scale hard. But when competitors copy you, either scale so big they can't catch up or pivot.
Like he did, changing his content style.
Exactly. Scale, then pivot back to public speaking, try an angry style, try rap, then settle on his current conversational style. Constant reinvention keeps you ahead.
Makes sense. And the moat.
Third, building a moat, your unique differentiator. What makes you hard to copy? His moat, honed over years, is simplifying complex stuff, hard for others to replicate that specific skill.
And finally, brand guidelines.
Fourth, brand guidelines audio branding. Intentional elements. The whiteboard, mic placement, camera angles, that doom sound makes him instantly recognizable. So unbeatable isn't magic, it's strategy, discipline, evolution, and intentional branding.
All right, let's shift into part 3, mastering interactions. How we deal with people. He starts with the number 1 rule of selling, Chapter 16. In today's world, what is it?
It's simple but profound. Trust.
Trust, not features or price.
Not primarily, because buyers can find info everywhere now. Often they know more than the salesperson. The market's flooded with similar stuff.
So why do they buy from one person over another?
Because they trust them. So how do you build it? Generate awareness, keep your promises, over-deliver. He says the number 1 rule for marketing is caring. Genuinely care about people, not just their money, and they'll trust you. That trust lets you command value.
Okay, then in Chapter 17, he gives the P plus E plus U method for selling. Preparation, emotion, urgency. Let's unpack those.
Right. P, preparation. You need specific knowledge or a product that actually helps the other person. Solves a problem, meets a need. Shamani knows wealth creation, branding.
Got it. Then E.
Motion.
People buy on emotion, not just logic. He focuses on 2 main drivers, fear or aspiration.
Fear of missing out or aspiration for a better life.
Exactly, fear of being left behind or aspiration like your life can be better like mine. You got to tap into those feelings. He sells his book using both aspiration or sometimes buy now or get left behind.
And finally, U, urgency.
Crucial because people procrastinate. You need to create that now feeling. He uses the crypto example. Buy today, be in the 1% who don't regret it. Pure FOMO.
He also talks about handling objections, right? Like in SaaS sales.
Yeah, countering no time or no money by immediately showing how the product saves time or makes money now, creates that urgent need to act.
He also has that negotiation tactic. Never state your price first. Why is that so key?
It's a power shift. If you name your price first, the negotiation is always downwards from your number.
So ask them what they think your worth is. If they lowball you, don't cut your price. Instead, add benefits.
Like offering an extra session or more Q&A.
Exactly. Instead of taking $80K for a $100K speech, offer the $100K speech plus extra value. He tells that amazing story about Jaguar Land Rover.
Selling them digital marketing as a student for $1 lakh.
Yeah. He didn't lead with price. He led with passion for the brand, showed his unique ability to target their ideal customers, and essentially made them name the price. Value first, passion first. Shifts the whole dynamic.
Okay, another counterintuitive one. Stop asking people for advice, chapter 24. Surely we should seek advice.
Again, it's about the type of asking. He means stop asking those vague, what's your best advice questions.
Why? What do you get?
Generic fluff, platitudes that don't really help.
So what's the alternative?
Ask specific problem-solving questions with context. Don't ask, how do I get famous? Ask, Raj, I'm posting daily reels, weekly videos for 3 months, engagement is flat. What specific tactics can I use to get more shares?
Give them a problem to solve with details.
Exactly. Lets them give you actionable, tailored insights, not just cliches.
He also talks about leading conversations, making people comfortable. The 4 W's for ice breaking.
Yeah, simple but effective. Where? Comment on the place. What? Comment on what's happening. World, general events. Weather, the classic.
And the bonus W?
Wit. A lighthearted comment on something slightly awkward, like spilling a drink, turns awkwardness into connection. The goal is just to put people at ease.
And he stresses specific compliments.
Hugely. Not just great talk, but I loved how you used voice modulation there to emphasize that point about the education system. How did you develop that? Specific, genuine, invites more conversation.
This all seems to tie into his own story, how a useless kid got to give a TEDx talk, chapter 26. The core principle there.
Networking by giving value first. That's fundamental for him.
The pawn to puri story.
Classic example. At a networking event, instead of selling himself, he just gave someone a tip for the best pani puri in town.
A small, unexpected act of giving.
Exactly. No strings attached, built a real connection. The guy turned out to be president of a youth organization, led to a big collaboration later.
So it's about intent.
Yeah, he asks himself 3 things before reaching out. What's my intent? Why should they care? Is this authentic? That give approach turns networking from transactional to relational, opens way more doors.
Okay, Raj Shamani's journey from stuttering to speaking at the UN is just amazing. How does he say you become a great public speaker beyond just performing on stage, chapter 27?
Right, he makes that key distinction. Public speaking for him is influencing people in any interaction, a chat, a meeting, a big speech.
And stage performance.
That comes after you nail the basics and prepare like crazy. His own story started with freezing up in school, admitting he sucked.
And then that 30-day intense practice for a 5-minute college presentation.
Yeah, recording himself daily for an hour. That relentless practice transformed him. Shows it's about deliberate effort, not just talent.
He has those 2 simple rules for speaking.
Super simple, super effective. Rule 1, never use words people don't understand. Keep it simple. Clarity over vocabulary.
And rule 2.
Ask questions to engage. Makes it a dialogue, not a lecture. He stresses how vital this skill is for everyone, entrepreneurs, influencers, anyone trying to get ideas across.
And for getting noticed, standing out. He has that framework.
The how to get noticed framework, really practical stuff. 1, pause. Start with silence. Grabs attention, breaks the auto response, creates anticipation.
Okay.
2, signature appearance gesture. Something unique to you. Obama's handshake, Shamani's whiteboard, a visual anchor.
Makes sense.
3, 1 minute of fame. First 30, 60 seconds are key. Start strong, bold about achievements to hook them. Then be humble.
Grab attention, then connect.
4, kiss. Keep it short and simple, like a good kiss, he says. Short, sweet, impactful. Cut content by 50%. Maximize delivery, not length.
And finally,
5, tell a story, not give a speech. Stories connect emotionally. Speeches can bore. Use anecdotes, narratives. Makes it memorable. Combine these, he says, and you cut through the noise. You influence, not just speak.
okay, shifting to part 4, financial freedom and continuous growth. How does Shamani define wealth creation in chapter 29? It's not just about having a pile of cash, right?
Not at all. For him, wealth is financial freedom. It's having money coming in that exceeds your expenses, and crucially, that money is working for you automatically through compounding.
So your investments cover your life.
That's the goal. You're not just trading time for money anymore. Your assets generate income. He insists if you plan to live 70 years on 40 years of earning, you must invest 20, 30% consistently. Make your money work. Don't just work for money.
And in chapter 30, The Art of Investment, he shares his own strategy. How does he break it down?
He uses a 3-tier allocation, balancing risk.
Tier 1.
50% in blue chip companies or mutual funds. The safe, stable core. Strong companies, proven track records, good management. Stability first.
Okay, half the portfolio there. Tier 2.
30% in calculated risks, like angel investing. This is where he allows for more risk, uses his gut feeling, invests in early-stage startups. Higher potential reward, higher risk, some rocks, hopefully some diamonds.
And the last bit.
10% fun money in crypto or other uncertainties. He explicitly calls this gambling money. High volatility. If it's lost, it's a small part of the total. If it moons, great bonus. Balanced approach.
Crucially, he also talks about what not to invest in. That seems just as important, especially for beginners.
Absolutely vital. Avoid the traps. Rachna Renaid and Sharon Hegde echo this in the book too.
So what are the big don'ts?
Number 1, regular mutual funds. Why? Those 1-2% agent commissions eat your returns over time. Go for direct mutual funds instead. Cut out the middleman.
Okay, avoid regular, go direct. What else?
UDLPs, unit-linked insurance plans. They mix insurance and investment, but badly. High charges, 15%. Low transparency, and they lock up your money for years. Illiquid, mutual funds are usually much better, lower fees, more flexible.
Got it. Avoid UAPs.
3, penny stocks. Stocks under 10 rupees. Tempting because they're cheap, but usually cheap for a reason. Bad company, high risk. Stay away unless you really know what you're doing.
Right, cheap for a reason.
And finally, obviously, lottery get-rich-quick schemes, the double your money in 21 days stuff. Only the seller gets rich. Avoid like the plague. It's all about understanding basics, doing homework, avoiding hype.
He also lays out 7 steps to become a millionaire. A broader financial roadmap.
Yeah, really practical steps anyone can follow.
Step 1.
Know your money. Simple, but essential. Track your income, track your expenses, get total clarity.
Step 2.
Salary and income allocation. Decide how much goes where. He started investing 10%, now does 50-70%. Key is invest first, then live off the rest. Cut unnecessary spending, build the habit.
Step 3.
Know your risk appetite. How much can you truly afford to lose? What are your goals? Don't just copy friends. It's personal. If you need money next year, don't put it in high-risk stuff.
Step 4.
Investment strategy aligned with goals and risk. Long-term, 10-plus years. Higher risk, okay, U.S. stocks, crypto, small caps. Medium-term, 3 to 5 years. Medium risk, blue chips, large caps. Short-term, 1 to 2 years. Low risk only. Debt funds, bonds, match the investment to the timeline.
Step 5.
Insurance. Crucial. Get life and health insurance before investing heavily. Protects your earning potential, covers medical shocks. It's the safety net. Sharon Hegde really emphasizes this.
Step 6.
Diversify, the golden rule. Don't put all eggs in one basket. Spread investments across different assets, stocks, bonds, gold, crypto, real estate, whatever fits your strategy. Reduces overall risk.
And step 7 isn't explicitly listed, but implied.
Compounding. It's the engine behind it all. Invest consistently, let it grow over the long term. That's how you build real wealth. It underpins everything.
And where does he suggest actually investing? Any specific areas?
He gives a few ideas. Indian stock market, maybe using small case for curated baskets if you don't want to pick individual stocks.
Okay.
American stock market for global exposure, mentioning FAANG stocks specifically.
The big tech names.
Early age startups, high risk, high reward. Cryptocurrency, again, high risk. Start small, learn first.
Makes sense.
Mutual funds, equity, maybe small caps for risk takers, and debt funds. Lower risk, good for emergency funds. And he also mentions looking at other trending assets, NFTs, sneakers, art, maybe a tiny speculative portion, especially stuff trending in the West that might hit India later. It reflects his calculated risk-taking.
Okay, let's tie all this action advice together with his 30-second rule from chapter 28. Sounds simple, but feels central to the whole book.
It's absolutely pivotal. It's the ultimate weapon against procrastination, against overthinking.
So the idea is eat?
Anything you want to do, any goal, is just 30 seconds away. Meaning, just embrace 30 seconds of discomfort or awkwardness or effort to start.
Give me an example.
30 seconds of planks daily builds core strength. 30 seconds of courage sends that email, starts that conversation. He says the hardest part isn't the work, it's starting. Get past that first 30 seconds and momentum builds. It breaks huge tasks into tiny, non-scary entry points.
That connects really well to his idea of growth in chapter 35. It's not about huge leaps.
No, it's about growing 1% every day or 1x every week. Small, consistent improvements. And it often requires leaving your comfort zone, like moving to Mumbai and having to figure things out.
And he has that wild secret tip to grow, involving jealousy.
Yeah, promote those you're jealous of. Sounds crazy, right?
Totally. How does that help you grow?
It's psychologically clever. Promoting them reframes your view, you're part of their journey. It forces you to up your game. And it creates this give, give, give vibe. People often feel inclined to reciprocate. It turns envy into fuel for collaboration and self-improvement.
Wow. That's a powerful reframe. So how does he wrap it all up with that question, short-term or long-term? Chapter 38.
Right. He acknowledges instant gratification has a place. His FMCG business gave quick returns. But true wealth, real impact, that comes from playing the long game.
Like Zuckerberg or Bezos.
Exactly. Investing in things relevant 10 years from now. Shimani's long game isn't just content. It's building a community to help young startups grow faster than he did. He believes when they grow, he grows too.
So the final message is?
Act. Act despite the doubt, the anxiety, the fear. Being stuck, he says, is the absolute worst outcome. Worse than failure, because being stuck means zero progress, zero learning.
Wow. Okay, this deep dive into Build Don't Talk, it really hammers home that message. Knowledge without action is useless.
Yeah.
It's just a constant push to stop thinking and start doing.
It absolutely is. So if we recap the big takeaways, first, action over analysis. Use that 30-second rule. Just start. Imperfect action beats perfect inaction every time.
Yeah.
Second, self-awareness and acceptance. Admit what you suck at. Know how you learn. Assess strengths, weaknesses honestly. It's pragmatic, not self-pity. Third, value creation of relationships. Network by giving first. Build trust through authenticity. Be a producer, not just a consumer. Put your work out there. Fourth, strategic growth. Copy for inspiration. Add your touch. Find your PMF. Pivot when needed. Build your unique moat. Discipline beats raw talent.
Yeah.
Fifth, financial literacy. Know your money. Allocate wisely. Invest consistently. Diversify. Avoid the traps. Take control.
And finally?
Resilience. Failure is data. Learn why it happened. Adapt. Move forward. Don't dwell.
So Build Don't Talk isn't just advice.
Yeah.
It's an encouragement to find your own way, build your own thing, make your own mark by doing.
Exactly. Compounding those little accomplishments day after day, turning them into something real instead of just talking about dreams.
It's a call for an active, engaged approach to life, brick by brick.
Well put.
So the final question for you, listening now. If life is brutal and you either win or lose, what small, concrete action will you take in the next 30 seconds, right now, to truly build your path forward? Will you apply something from this deep dive? The choice, as Shimani implies, is entirely yours.